Hey, 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 this is Natasha, and I'm speaking with the amazing Georgia Dawkins. She is a journalist, a television producer with more than 10 years of experience as a Florida native. She has left her mark all over the country. She got her start at ABC News in New York City as a desk assistant before being daybreak producer at WCTV in Tallahassee. After graduating from Florida A&M University, she moved to Fort Myers, Florida. From there, she was promoted to senior producer at the CBS affiliate in Shreveport, Louisiana, KSLA News 12. And she pretty much has been following her lifelong dream of producing closer to home. Georgia set up posts at ABC Action News in Tampa. And in 2016, she got a call that pretty much changed her life. She got the call to help develop a daily live talk show, which was later introduced to the world in 2017. And 6 months into her dream job, Georgia left the production to pursue other programming development opportunities. And she currently has a book coming out this March called Everybody Knows the Power of Being in Position. So, how are you?
Good morning, hi, or morning, afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this. Hi. I am well. Thank you. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Yeah, you have such an amazing bio. I mean, yeah, just right out of the gate, I would say my first question is like, what brought you into news and television production?
I've always wanted to do it. Like I was telling someone the other day, I have known since I was 12 years old that I wanted to go to Florida A&M University and that I wanted to major in journalism. And initially, I mean, I've always been a writer. I used to write poetry. I used to write songs. I used to write stories. I've always been in my head. But it wasn't until I started to get closer to my uncle. His name is Leotis McNeil. He was a journalist and an educator, and I used to spend a lot of time with him, writing to him to his job, and I wanted to be like him. I used to go through the photo albums and see him doing interviews at games and just traveling with Black press, and that was so amazing to me. I want to do what he does.
Wonderful. Okay. And what were like some of the challenges that you faced while doing this as a woman and as a person of color?
Oh, well, thank you. You just answered your own question. I walked in there as a woman, and I walked in there Black. And that wasn't always a bad thing. There were some of my shops, the TV stations where I worked, where that was actually a great thing. And people weren't intimidated by my skin color or what was in my pants or under my dress. And that was amazing. And those were the times I think I struggled the most. Because when I would go into those environments of opposition, I was prepared. I'm always prepared for a fight. But when I would go into the environment where they didn't have a problem with it, I felt like, uh-oh, when is the other shoe going to drop? Like I was expecting something to happen that never happened. And so I had to get over, get past self, get past those, embedded social things that I've been told about different ethnicities and work environments. I had to get past that mentally in order to succeed in the industry.
Very interesting. Okay. And did you have mentors along the way? Like what were I guess what were some of the opportunities that help you get from step, A to B and onward?
Okay, definitely. Mentorship is so important. Like I collect mentors. Like I used to recruit mentors. I would go to the National Association of Black Journalists conference and just scout mentors. Like, yep, I'm gonna get that one, and I'm gonna get that one. And then eventually, my career started to evolve into a path of people were coming to me. I want to mentor you. Now, NABJ was very huge for me, the Black journalist, as far as establishing my career. That was the first thing I did. I just wrote about this in my book. I joined NABJ before I ever became a student before I ever stepped foot on FAMU's campus, because I met some woman in a mall who told me, I saw that she had on a Greek shirt, so I knew she'd gone to college, and I was 18, and I was just so excited about Black people and education. And I went up to her and I said, hi, what school did you graduate from? And she was like, Northwestern. And I was like, oh, okay, what did you study? Like, this is so random. We're in a shoe store in the middle of a mall in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady just entertaining me. And she said that she studied journalism. And I said, oh, I'm going to study journalism. I'm going to FAMU. And she said, well, if you want to be a successful Black journalist, you have to join NABJ above everything. And I've
Mm.
never talked to that woman since. But I took what she said, and I took my own money, and I paid for my first membership. And I haven't had to pay for my membership out of pocket since. There
Mm.
has been someone ever since that day, this is 10 years ago, more than 10 years, to sponsor that membership. And
Mm.
above that membership, I have the most amazing mentors in the world. And I
Mm.
have mentors in different compartments. You know, like I have my journalism mentors, the people who just help me get through the industry. And then I have those people who help me navigate the industry, and those people are managers. And then I have people outside of this industry who just help me with professional development, who help me with just my overall presentation. And all of those experiences working together made me who I am today.
I love it. And what would you say have been the most meaningful lessons learned as a journalist, as a professional woman like yourself?
Well, I always say stay humble, stay
Mhm.
hungry. And it didn't matter whether I was at GMA or if I was at 11 Alive in Atlanta or Shreveport, Louisiana. Stay humble, stay hungry. Like, don't ever think that you've made it just because you got a little position. Don't think that you've made it just because you're making a little more money than you were making on the last job. You are, and these are the conversations I have with myself. It's for other people, but you are a student of life and you can always grow. So don't ever get the big head.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Now we are speaking because you are definitely a sister on fire, and I know everyone listening can clearly hear, how awesome you are, unapologetic you are about the life that you've
Thank
lived.
you.
So yes, absolutely. So for just first out of the gate, how would you define the term sister on fire?
A sister on fire to me is like, I know this might be a little too graphic, but she is the woman who walks in already blazing. And not to keep that fire for herself, but to lean over and light another sister on fire so that we can all burn together. Like, it's enough. And
Mhm.
that is the call. You know, we're supposed to help other people. We're supposed to love other people.
Mhm.
Everything that I've learned in my life is for other people. I mean, I had to get the lesson first, but I believe that God had me go through certain things for a certain reason so that I can come and tell another woman, no, girl, you need to go and negotiate that contract. Or, no, girl, you're worth more. Or, no, girl, you need to go talk to a therapist. Or, no, girl, you need to start working out. You need to take care of
Yeah,
yourself, take care of your temple. That is all a part of being on fire,
I
being
love.
able to see that love and to see that need and meet that need for another sister.
And who are women in your life that live up to that?
I have so many. Don't get mad, y'all, because I know I'm not gonna be able to call, but I'm gonna actually this time I'm gonna highlight my best friends and try not to cry because I don't tell people about them because I
Mhm.
don't like to share them. So I have two
Mhm.
best friends. I have one who I grew up with, who went to high school, middle school together, and was supposed to go to college together. Her name is Dr. Roxanne Samuels Lockett. She just got married almost 6 months ago. She's a
Mm.
pediatrician in Tampa, and to see her go from the girl on the bus with the micro, she always got micros. Like to see her go from that person to the Spelman graduate, Florida State grad, Morehouse, resident. Like she's practicing now. She is out there. She is a real doctor. She said she was going to do it, and now she's doing it. And then I
Mhm.
have my other best friend, Camille Adrian Washington. She's also in the Tampa St. Pete area, and we went to college together. And
Mhm.
Camille is one of the most amazing people I have ever met. Camille is a respiratory therapist, but she has a call to heal people. And so she just left her job to go build her business. It's called Smudge Life, where she travels and she offers Reiki healing, energy readings, and meditations and mantras. She has a healing ministry, and she is investing in that. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things ever is for a woman to invest in herself and in her dreams. So those are two sisters on fire who are very close to my heart. I have a million other mentors, and I will say that at Good Morning America, Robin Roberts was that for me. I used to call her, I still call her Auntie Robin. Anytime I see her, tweet her, email, Auntie Robin. That's how I talk to her. Because she was always that for me. On the days she didn't know she was being that for me, her smile or a little hug, or she used to kiss me on my forehead like a real auntie. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I didn't know I needed it. I didn't know I needed that kind of support. And I did. I was so far away from home. I never lived outside of Florida at this time. And I just moved to New York. And I did that for 3 years. I kept going back. They kept calling me to come back. But Robin could always see me even when I didn't see myself. She would always speak to my higher self. So I definitely appreciate people like Robin, like Camille, and like Roxanne, who are just here to help me discover that I'm a light and my call and my purpose.
I love it. And it sounds like, sisterhood and mentorship, like you're saying, has been pivotal essentially in your life. Like, what advice do you have for other women and men listening who maybe don't have that mentorship and they really could use it? How do you go about getting it?
Everyone needs a mentor. Like, you don't want to go to a doctor who doesn't have a doctor, right? Like, you treat yourself? Yeah, no. And you don't want to go to a therapist who doesn't have a therapist. You don't want a pastor who doesn't have a leader. You are a leader. Where you are right now, you can always grow from that point. And for me, it has changed with each career level. When I started to get into management, I need to switch up my team a little bit, because now I need people around me who are going to help me become a better manager and help me negotiate those contracts, because I don't know how to do that. I haven't done that before. So for everything in life, mentorship is necessary. And if you're afraid, some people have to get over pride. Your pride is, don't worry about it. Like, for real. Like, just F your pride. Like, I was really trying to say something else, but get over yourself, because as soon as you get over yourself, you're going to take off. It's amazing how much farther we can go when we have a team of people. I mean, I know not to get all spiritual, but the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I go. I mean, there is power, there is strength in numbers.
I love it. Okay. And tell me tell us rather, more about, what made you want to write the book? What is the book about? All of that.
Okay. So I didn't want to write the book. I had to write the book. I have been trying to write the book for 2 years. I was laid off from my job in Tampa and went through such a deep depression. That was the first time I feared for my own life when I planned to take it. Like, you know what, Georgia, you might actually pull it off this time. That's just how low I was. I wasn't leaving the house. My friends were calling to check on me. If I didn't answer, I was afraid somebody was going to pop up. So I would answer just to tell them, yes, I'm still here. No, I didn't leave the house today. No, I haven't eaten. Like, it was such a dark time. So coming out of that, I knew I had to write about it. So I started writing in 2016. And fast forward 2016, I ended up at Sister Circle developing that show, producing the pilot, and then I go back to news for a little bit. And throughout this time, I'm picking up writing every now and then, but I'm spending more time on other projects for other people than I am on myself. So I neglected my book. So Sister Circle gets picked up in 2017, live talk show, TV One, nationwide, big deal, and big distraction for me. I mean, it was a blessing to be a part of it, but God had to shake me and shift me to position me to not only finish my book, but leave and help and use my gifts to help other people develop shows. I learned a lot about myself in this process. So the book, everybody knows the power of being in position, is about that process. God has had to move me before. This just happens to be rather dramatic, but that's how he deals with me, because I'm rather dramatic. He said, when God told me I had to leave my job, I said, people aren't going to understand why I'm leaving my dream job. Like, it was highly publicized. I think you should reconsider. So I said, if you don't move when I tell you to move, you're going to mess some people up. And in that, he was showing me that people are waiting on your gift. People are waiting on you to move. People are waiting on you to get into position so that they can do what I called them to do. And so the morning that I was going to put in my notice and talk about self-care, I'd had a panic attack. And I go to therapy regularly, but the stress of the environment had become so toxic for me personally that I had to get out. And God had to shake me. He was doing all that to get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
So the morning before I put in my notice, God told me to call this woman. And I was like, listen, you know what? You're doing a lot right now, bruh. Like, you're asking too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the parking lot, and I called this lady, and I said, listen, this is going to sound weird, but I'm in the parking lot of Sister Circle getting ready to put in my 2 weeks notice because God said you had a job for me. And I was like holding my breath the whole time because I'm like, I know this sounds insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said the most insane thing in response. And she said, I do have a job for you. I've had a job for you. I've just been waiting for you. What? Girl, if you don't get out of my face. Like, it was just the most amazing experience. Because I really wanted to be wrong. I really wanted to go, yeah, I knew I was crazy. I knew God wasn't talking to me. I knew it, but no, she had answers for everything that he told me to ask her. I can't. That's too much for me. I got to go. Like, I'm trying to figure out where's the escape button? This ride is wild. So 2 days after I put in my notice, God placed me in front of a book publisher who said, where is your book? And this publisher is a woman I've been having lunch with. I've been meeting with her. Like, we've just been on some, Sisters on Fire stuff. We've just been feeding each other's flames. But I didn't know what she was actually, feeding at the time. So for her to ask for my book, I was like, I got to get it done. And so I had another friend, I was telling her about how God was dealing with me and my story. And she said, well, I'm going to sow a seed because this is fertilized soil. This is good ground. And she paid for me to go away for 9 days and to finish my book. 9 days I was on the beach writing because somebody wanted to sow a seed. And I finished my book. I walked into my little writing retreat with about 2,500 words. I left with 22,000 words. Like, I wrote my whole book in a week. And my publisher, she's actually reading it now. And it just feels so, surreal. Like, did I really write a book? And did I really pour my heart into this book? And it's a series of stories about how God has had to position me and reposition me before. I've been here before. And each time it is to help other people get into position. Each time it's another act of faith that somebody needed to see to serve their faith so that they can serve someone else's faith. And that goes back to being on fire. People need to see that.
I love it. I cannot wait to read it. Oh, my gosh.
Thank you.
So what is it? So it's going to be available in March, right?
Yeah, so the book launches in March. This is still a very new process for me. I don't know how all of this looks. It's moving very fast. I knew I was going to finish my book in 2018. I did not know I was going to finish by the end of January, and it would be editing in February and launching in March. So I know that there's an event on the 24th in Atlanta, but outside of that, I'll definitely keep people posted on my social media and on my website about how they can find the book. But I now have a link there for people to donate to my book fund because a lot of people were asking me, how can I be a part of this? How can I help? People can't write for me. They can't go through things for me, but they can sow a seed. And a lot of people wanted to do it. Like, I'm not holding a cup, I'm not passing a collection plate, but if you want to sow, then do that. And that was something my publisher came up with just to see what would happen. And I'm now surviving off the book fund, off something that was just it was just an act of faith. Okay, let's see what happens with this. Oh, wait, what? I actually need this to pay my bills? Well, that's incredible because I'm in limbo. I'm in transition right now. And even though I'm working on developing other shows, I'm developing projects right now. You know, entertainment, money don't come when you need it. It'll come in like 2-3 weeks, you know. So it's a process, but I'm just so grateful to the people who've been donating because it's not the people I expected. Like in this whole process, I told my Facebook friends, the people who I expected to be in the front row of my success are no longer in the room. And that's so incredible to me because everybody can't go where you're going. Everybody can't go, you know, where God is taking you, where your destiny is. And there are people you have to leave behind. And sometimes we don't know how to do that. So the universe will help us out and be like, yeah, no, and just snatch them away. And it'll be something so dramatic. You know, she said, what? Oh, what she said about? Oh, yeah, I can't talk to her. You know, and not on some petty, but on some, ooh, I see your energy. I see your spirit. I see that you are broken. And I see that if I stay in your company, I'm going to be broken. I'm going to have that energy. So you are the company you keep. And we have to be more mindful of that. Who is around you? Who do you want to become? And who is around you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, everyone listening is just going to be like, oh my gosh, just like shaking their head and aligned with what you're saying. So you mentioned the website. So yeah, give people the details. Where can they go to learn more about the book, learn more about you, support your cause?
So GeorgiaDawkins.com. That's Georgia, like the state. And Dawkins, like Hawkins with a D. And I just updated it the other day. I added my testimony because I made this video on Facebook the day that I was leaving from my writing retreat, just kind of walking my followers through my process because it was very abrupt. People that did not understand why I was leaving the show. But then there were those people who were so happy for me that they just celebrated anyway because they knew if she's leaving this, it's because there's something bigger. There must be something bigger. So I posted my testimony to the website. That video turned out to be 11 minutes long, and it has more than 4,000 views. Like, people were just watching and sharing. And, I mean, 4,000 sounds small to some people, but that's a big deal for me because I don't get that kind of engagement. And then not even on bigger than the likes and the views and the shares and all that and comments, people started sending me letters. Thank you. I needed to hear this. Thank you. I just lost my job. Thank you. I knew I needed to leave, but, you know, because you left, now I have the courage. And I didn't know why I had to do that when I was doing it. And then I looked at the people it blessed, and I go, oh, it was for you. Okay, yeah. And that's all about being in position. If I had not heard the voice of God, if I had not heeded the voice of God, and the God, not just the God around me, but the God in me, that's another thing I've learned in this process is, wait a minute, I'm way stronger and way more powerful than I thought I was. Like, I'm low-key a Power Ranger, and people don't even know. Like, wait a minute, I'm out here. And I'm greater than I've given myself credit for. And I had to ask God to forgive me because I keep trying to diminish what he put in me. You made me a light. You made me an influencer. You made me this person to encourage other women and light other sisters on fire. And every time I'm sitting in the corner and I'm depressed and I'm in my feelings, I am crucifying that you put in me. And I'm not using it to help. I'm not using it for the reason that you put it in me to do. Like, so yeah, I put that story on the site so that other people can see that. Because people are donating to my book fund, and they don't even know what the book is about. They just want to support. So I'm trying to add more content, pictures from my book. It wasn't like a launch, but I had not a going away party, but a next chapter celebration. And during that celebration, I revealed my book cover. Because that was a whole nother like story in itself. I've been writing this book, I told you, for 2 years. I did not know what the cover would be. I did not know what the title would be. The book has also shifted from what I thought it would be initially, but it's still a book for healing. It's still a book to encourage people. So God gave me my book cover on my 30th birthday. That was in October. And I was like, okay, all right, I hear you. And I marked it, okay, that's my cover. So then after I quit my job, he gave me a title, and then he put me on deadline. And like, this book has to be, no lie. And I think it's because I'm a, journalist. God talks to me in deadlines and rundowns, and that's how we communicate. And it makes so much sense to me. So he told me, you got to have this book out of you by January 31st. And I just told you, the launch is in March. Like, things are just happening so fast, and it's all about being in position at the right, being in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. You are amazing, and just thank you for being on fire. Absolutely. And just keep doing what you're doing and spreading your message. And I can't wait to hear what everyone thinks of the book. It sounds like it's going to be a very real and very inspirational and motivational piece for people to think about their own lives and think about, are they in the position, right, that they need to be in, and are they blocking their blessings? Are they, like you're saying, crucifying themselves and their glory that is within them? So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for everybody out there. You got to be lit on fire.
Absolutely.